This is going straight into the correct place. Good morning, welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. Not only have I got the two issues of Combat Patrol, issues 37 and 38, 37, 38, 47 and 48, that, because I missed one last week. I've also got Mini Lads and Sparkles opening a pack of whichever, the new one box of new Pokemon cards. We've got a thumbs up from Mini Lads. That is excellent. Thank you all for coming today. I am running very late. I'm very, very tired. I'm still not recovered from last week on Monday night, which, whew, oh dear. I'm not taking energy drinks this time. I do not have a drink, but I've not got any drink, which is a good thing. I was waffling like an idiot last time. So we have two issues to go through. But those two issues are a combined issue. So we have issue 47 and two sprues with issue 47, which looks to be essentially a copter on each. Isn't that good? We like copters on each. But because it's a dual issue, it means you have to wait till issue 48 to get the other sprue and the bases. So let's open that one as well, so we've got them all. We got it. We got it. I may get slight interruptions coming over. We've got this now, and we've got this now. Because if Mini Lads gets cards he's excited about, there's a possibility he may come over to tell me. So, that's both issues 48 and 47 open with 3 bases, which is good. But looks to be 3 copters and I'm hoping 47, which is going to cover Defkoptas Part 1, more highlighting and new faction rules. So it's covering more chaosy rules, gives us the data sheets for the copters, and it's going to tell us roughly how to, is it going to go through highlighting on a lot of things. But most importantly, it's going to show us how to build the 3 Defkoptas. That's the really, really important part. So that's showing us how to build the 3 Defkoptas. Is this one actually going to show us how to paint them? Yeah, this one's going to show us how to paint the 3 Defkoptas, as well as go through a few other things for the Defkoptas to fight over, which should be fun. Lots and lots of lore bits in this as well. So yeah, good chunks of everything. Now I'm aware I've just started. I probably should have waited for a bit more because I need drinks and things. But hey ho, it's a bit late now. Good morning, Dan. Good morning. We're building ramshackle death helicopter flying machines today. Should be fun. So we'll start with issue 47. Where do we go? Driving to the work. Driving to the work. You have a good one as well, mate. Don't take it too hard. Work smart. Get it done. You know, well, you know you're one hard-working blue-collar man anyway. How do we build these Defkoptas? Let's start with that one, shall we? That's the best bit. So, Defkopta A, we need to find part number 16 and part number 15, which are going to be 2 sides of a copter body, which, if it makes sense, it'll all be on one sprue. That does not look like the right one. That does not look like that one. That one does look like the right one. See, it was easy to tell for this one because on the actual picture you can see it has 3 rockets down the front. Not all of them have 3 rockets. So in that case, we're building this one first. So we get the snips. And we want to remember that this tree bit here is actually part of the model. And snippety snip this out. Wow, my arms are struggling with this. I thought if I've given it a day, it would have eased up a bit, but apparently not. These snips are particularly heavy at the moment, and I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why. It's because I've been getting back into the gym a bit more seriously. I'm going to guess with the way things are going, they have not found one of the super duper uber mega rare cards. Which, let's face it, is hardly surprising. There's probably about 4 other damn things in total. I could have bought more boxes, but then Sparkles would have thrown me out. Oh, clippity clip, clip. Pardon me. Clippity clip, clip, clippity clip, clip, clippy. All the Defkoptas pieces. And we get a Defkoptas. He says glue is not required. Push fit. We know differently, don't we? These push fit things don't always. Yeah. Sometimes you don't push and fit. Sometimes you only do one or the other. So this should be fun. So I got one of the Team Rocket booster packs, and Sparkles and Mini Lads have got the, I can't remember what it's called, white something.
White flare.
White flare booster packs. Not booster packs, they got one of the boost. Yeah, they've got some to open. That's what they've got. So I hope everybody is okay. I'm sorry for being late on this as well. Oh, cleaning up mold lines just to make sure everything's flush when you coming to it. Doing nice whirling bits, and I'm guessing that's going to be the nice stumpy tree that he's going to sit on and hover in the air with. Okay. So now we need, because it's going to be the same sprue again, I'm guessing each one is going to be a sprue. So we get 17 and 18, which are legs, and a head, which are all in this small section here. Let's hope I don't lose a leg this time, like I did when I did the boys.
He's a good one.
Oh, apparently we've got a good one.
Yep. Yep, we do.
Now, I know I'm going through the combat patrol issue, but still, Pokemon cards is happening in the background. So, I don't know whether we're going to get any shouts of enjoyment or not. There's no Sparkles is looking at me like, well, we're going to, couldn't even put all the others away and you've got more. Yeah, but I've now got a box I can put more in. And you've got more card sleeves. And we should have more dividers, and now we should be able to separate boxes and things. And have everything nicely put away. Hopefully it works. And I don't get murdered for buying cards. We did roughly talk about this while we was on holiday, so it's not like it was completely unexpected. I just don't think she expected me to act on it quite this quick. But I saw the new one and it was available, so I'm good. Still got to order my ticket to go meet Graham a week on Saturday and go play board games with random people and possibly take talisman to trade in and get something else. I shall have to check to see if I've got it. If it's all there. Another one. We've got another one or something.
One of these leaves.
One of them leaves. Let's have a look, see what it does.
It's like the second one that we've gotten.
Antique Plume Fossil. Oh, this. Play this card as if it were a 60 HP basic Pokemon. This card can't be affected by special conditions and can't retreat. At any time during your turn, you may discard this card from play. Plume Protection. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Nice.
Yeah, that's the second one.
And it evolves into a fossil Pokemon.
Yep.
I think that's the first fossil Pokemon we've seen yet. So that's a new set we've done. I know we've got one that's a Team Rocket energy. I think we only have one Team Rocket Pokemon, which is a Nidoran male. Being able to evolve up into a Team Rocket Nidoking would be nice. But Team Rocket Dark and Psychic do double energy, so I don't know if that's any good, but I mean 2 energy at once is always fun, as far as I'm aware. If you get to put more than 1 energy out a turn, that's lucky. Even I knows that much. If you manage to keep a Defkoptas alive for more than 1 set per turn, that is also lucky. So what are we up to now? Oh, I'm plus with 10 page. And I'm doing section 19 and 20. And then I'll do after this 23 into 24 and then 22. That's all of them. That's all the pieces on this one. So 19 and 20 being his arms. Both look like they've got stick bombs in them. But only one of them does. The other one's technically his control stick. I believe somebody wants to open the special art one. Which is Tornadus. Oh, and they've done the greasy thing. They've put the card protectors in with the promo card.
It doesn't get open these.
That is a very, very greasy thing. Which means to get the dividers, you've got to open it. Now, I'm not sure what a full art Tornadus is going to be like, but
See that wall attention? We don't need to open that right now, and they're just cards.
right, that's where we figure out what's in there. So now we're flipping out the copter blades, which are 23 and 24. And then they're gonna, again it says no glue, so this should all be push fit, which I'm quite glad at, because although I have my glue to hand, I don't think the nozzle is necessarily free. And this should clip over like so, and once you've clipped that over like that, pardon me, you slide the very thin pin needle top bit in through, and there will be a kind of one weight goes on because it's supposed to be push fit, but it's not coming all the way through the top, and I don't want to force it too much. After all, it is quite a flimsy connection, but that will suffice for copter number 1. Either way, you do not want it diving at you out the air. Oh no, it's not copter number 1, is it? Because we've got to put it onto its very thematic little bassy bit, and the bassy bit goes into the actual bass with the slot cut into it. Forgot about that bit. At least this one comes with basing bit already done. Fine. One of said slotted bases and slot it in. So now you have a textured bass, and the peg from the bottom of the tree will slot into a hole on the base. Now you're gonna have to be careful because again, thin plastic bends easily, and then you've got to orientate the damn thing right. There we go. Now we have one completed Defkoptas. That didn't take long. Right, so it goes body, it goes copter, body, leg, head, arm, extra. Oh, some of them have extra bits. This one has extra bits. This one has 2 front panelly bits there. Of course it does. Why couldn't it be just nice and simple like the other one? Still runs to the same basic idea though. So you cut out the copter body. All the copter body, and on this one there is lots and lots of bits to snip out in the copter body. Loads of them. Trying to make sure you're only clipping off the connection points, because these don't make it easy with the amount of little gubbins and stubbins and bits and things. Lots of snippy bits. I may extend this as a double over 2 points today and do some of the wall later on tonight. I'll cover the majority of the building and painting today during this bit. Morning, Mick. Morning. I would love to. I do need to actually wake up properly and sort myself out a bit, so I may take a quick break after finishing putting these 3 together. They are going through relatively quickly, which I'm glad of. So now it's leg, head, arms, propeller and base. Should be simple. It should be so simple that I can do it. Yeah. Push leg in. This 11:20 being late is not good for me. Sleeping has been a difficult one for the last couple. I'll say difficult. It's been really easy. It's just I've needed to catch up a lot. So I'm going to go probably talk through the painting section. Now, it's pretty straightforward. If you've seen these painting tutorials before, it is kind of straightforward. Follow the instructions. Most of it's going to be get the aura skin, paint the aura's flesh. I'll paint it all black. paint the metal bits metal. Paint some of the piping blue, some of the piping red, some of the piping yellow. Use Oracle Flesh for the skin of the orcs. As well, and then Coelia green shade for the wash on it. Null oil wash for the black bits. Agrax earth shade for things like leather and trousers, and any oily, greasy, dirty bits. If you are adventurous, you can try painting on squares and dags, or triangles onto the archy glyphs. If you're feeling it, adventurous size, you don't have to. And you'll have bandages, which we may wish, and other sections and strapping that you can paint either wraithbone or browns, either the Baneblade brown or some of the others, because Games Workshop does like its browns and its greys. And then once you give them a touch up with the Agrax Earthshade, then it changes the overall look of the colour, especially if you was to use something like the Wraithbone. It'll make it look like very dirty bandages. It shall keep me busy for a while, mate, you're right. 3 of these Defkoptas will keep me busy for a fair bit. So once you've done chose your clothing colours, going through things like the Baneblade brown or just straight black, and going over it with Mechanicum Standard Grey as a highlight colour. I don't know if you might have gone for Ryan Oxide as your base colour for brown, and then highlight it up with the what's it called? I just said it, Baneblade brown. Just make sure you don't fully paint into all the recesses with highlight colours. You do want to keep some of those darker tones available, and that's what gives it the depth. Now we've got to cut out the armour panel pieces for the front that the other one didn't have. Why would I have had? They were already built onto it. Why would they already build this one onto it? That's just a silly idea, isn't it? Why do what we've just done again? Another thing that made it really easy for them to do. I know we've got the Prem starting again soon as well. I'm not sure if it's this weekend or next weekend we get the Charity Shield. I just know it's soon. I know United aren't part of it for a long time. Not part of it for a very, very, very long time. A very, very, very long time. Very, very, very long time. Right, so this is going to go. Sparkles is amazing. Sparkles has made me a cup of tea. Sparkles has made me a cup of tea. Sparkles has made me a cup of tea, but there's nowhere for it to be. Turn the page over. So the tube pit is the bottom bit. And the single bit is the top bit. That goes on there like that, and then the single one goes on top of it, and that's the top piece, and then it all sticks into the base, and then the base sticks into the base of the other base, and then there's 2 of them done. If only we could magic base them black, and well, I'm not using Oracle Flesh, I'm using Death Guard green, so my colour scheme is going to be marginally just a touch different than what these are going to be. And I've got a lot to strip down first. Fucking loads of boys. Clean up and sort out. as well as loads of nubs, and I think my wall bosses are in okay condition. I've just got to hope that the skin tones stick and don't look too odd, because I didn't use Death Guard green with them, but I did use a lighter, similar shading of green. Good morning, Al. Long time, man. I am well. I am well, but I'm running late. Well, just managed to get my issue of this morning from. Well, it's not W. Smith anymore. It's TJ somethings or other for me. They changed the bloody name of it. I mean, it's always going to be W. Smith. Well, in fact, it's actually going to be John Menzies for me. And people look at me weird when I say John Menzies, so then I have to tell them it's W. Smith, and now they're going to look at me even weirder when I say W. Smith as well, because that's not even there anymore. So we can see how this is going to go in the future. I'm going to say John Menzies, and somebody's just going to look at me and really not have a clue what I meant. What's a magazine shop? What's a news agent? Yeah, thanks for that. I don't feel old now. There we go, we have the second Defkoptas. All nice and built. So you could have built these last week, or at least two of them, all the way up. And then just waited for the third one to come and clip them all onto the bases afterwards. So, third one. We have a big bomb on the bottom of this one. We do have a big bomb, see? Those are parts of 11 and 10. And we have to do them before we can do the other bit, because they clip in at an awkward bloody place. You know, when they kind of put anchor points in and go, right, if you hold this in here and then slide that over the top, it'll hold it in. But if you don't, then them little nubbly bits don't catch. So what they've done on part number 10, I'm going to cut that one out to try and show you properly. They've put this little section here. See that? And around the top of it there is a ring. Now that ring's going to sit into one of these, which sections? It's going to sit into section number 2. While we try and clip section number 1, which are the two big bits that actually make up the Defkoptas. So it sits in number 2 while we try and clip number 1 onto it. Aren't they clever? Why they couldn't have just had it as a push fit? Nope. Got loads of push fits on this. Not one reason why they have to choose to do that one tiny little bit as a hook. Crunch. Everything's nice and on there. Now I'm going to clean it up. This is where Sparkles has kittens. Knife to clean up flat and round things. Like you do. Yeah, I see. It has been quite a while though, Al. So yeah, I'm doing all right apart from the recovering from a week long getting beat up by various different motorized and non-motorized vehicles. And I'm just now starting to get to the point where it's like, right, I've almost caught up. Monday I did quite a fair old whack onto the majority of the colour work on my Proxy 8 bound. Today I'm catching up by getting these all built, and tonight I'm going to go more through the lower sections and other parts, because I do have 2 magazines to catch up on, so it is going to be a double biller today. I knew catch-up week was going to be difficult, but I wasn't quite expecting it to be this difficult. So what I've got to hope to do is I don't cover anything in the... Why has this one got a burner on it? I don't like that this one's got a burner on it. It's only got one big bomb. That's making me feel uncomfortable as to how they've kitted these out. So I'll have a look, hopefully, at his stat sheet at the end of this one. And I can cover the 2 quick battles, or battle setups, because it's going to cover melee and another scenario. They always do. It's something I'm used to now. Right, so we take this, and this goes in there like that. See? So that little nubbly bit, pardon me, gets caught in up at the top. Then you've got that in the right place, you hope. You try and squeeze these 2 bits together so that they'll lock it in place. And hope that it's not slipped ever so slightly, so now it's not going to go together anymore. No, I think we've got lucky. And that is going to stay where it has been put. So now we need more armory pieces. So he's got some things that go over the edges of the front of his thingy and bobby effort. Defkoptas, that's it. I just dropped my snips. Cause I'm clever. So we'll do what we know standard. Legs, head, arm, and then we'll look for the rest. Zach, yes. Well, this is issue 47, 48 for Combat Patrol, so it's 3 Defkoptas. I've done arcs for years. I've got some old arcs. I do have a metal shock attack gun. Big mech somewhere that needs rebasing. And he needs, I think it's his grot sucking arm that needs to be found again. I mean, I've got the pipe bit, it's just the hand holding it. I've got to find that again. And of course, I've got the shock attack itself. And the pipe work. I've just got to rebase him and do a little bit of replacing parts. I've had orcs for a while. Believe it or not, that was one of the options for what I would have done on Monday. Well, thank you for coming and joining us, man. Thank you very much. We're on for the 3rd Defkoptas now. So I'm going to force his leg in. And then get his other leg, and we're going to force that in as well. Orcs don't act like you want them to. If you act all namby-pamby and polite, they laugh at you and say that you're soft and squishy and call you a puny human and don't do what you want. But if you just force them, because they're orcs, and well, that's the way they like things apparently. See. Good morning, Ellie. Good morning. Sorry to interrupt work. See, 40k is brilliant. You 1 minute you're reluctant to talk to this complete and utter stranger. Then you find out they play 40k. Next thing you know, you spend 4 hours talking about the nuances of whether or not you should re-roll a re-rolled cocked dice. Stupid. It's just bizarre. So, yeah, I'm still recovering. Luckily, my back is stable at the minute and he's holding me up. He's sore, but he's holding me up. I might just go get some. Aha, there it is. Liquids are within reach. Sparkles has put them in a good place. Did you not work in today, Ali? You got the day off. Does that mean you got the day off the bar as well? Or is the bar tonight? Can't forget the Bears paws. They will not survive without their favourite and best bartender. And I will not survive unless I get some form of liquid. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Why is it so heavy? Nice cup of tea. Right, that's 48. I don't need to get into that yet. I need to find out. So he's got a pistol. One's got a stick bomb and one's got a chopper. Okay. Oh, you've got rocket propelled helicopter blades. That should be safe. And by rocket propelled, I don't just mean he's just got some kind of thruster on it. I mean, no. He's got high explosives strapped to the ends of each one to make it whirl round in circles. Because where's the fun if it doesn't go boom? And your mates can all laugh at you as you get stitched up. Painted the inside of the house. No, decorating houses. I mean, it's doable. Doesn't really actually take that long if you're doing it simply and right. So if you're going for something like an extra thick lining paper, get that up and then it's just roller, done. Very easy and simple. But if they chose something stupid and intricate and it's like, oh, for God's sake, you pretentious, why have you chose that? Then that's when it becomes something a little bit more different. That's when it becomes a shouting match. Usually between whoever's hanging the wallpaper and the wallpaper. Patterns. I hate patterns. Patterns on wallpaper are wrong. Patterns should all be applied by paint and roller. Chronicles of Var. I shall check him out. Not immediately, because, well, I'm trying to remember which order parts go in at the moment. But afterwards, I shall go and have a look-ski. So the final two nose pieces go round, well, the nose. Now are these supposed to join up properly in the middle, or are supposed to, yeah. So I'm going to take the propeller blades off for a second and then jaw clamp that shut because it's dick and it should have in the first place. And then I'm going to put these back on. I've got to find a lot more of these. I've got another 6 Defkoptas somewhere. But not as fancy dancy as these ones with these special stands. It's the way you're supposed to end up, Ali. If you're painting walls, you're supposed to get at least some on you. That's why I have a specific t-shirt for decorating, because it gets covered in paint. A lot of paint. Remove the blade from near the thing that I can't even pick up a base. I'm struggling to pick up a piece of plastic, people. What is going on with me? I can't. There we go. It's just not happening, is it? It's just, yeah, I'm gonna need something. And this is not even me trying to talk and read. This is just me doing basic work of does make thing fit in thing. Why thing no fit in thing. Proper artwork. And I'm struggling. What am I going to be like if I try and read? What do I read in a minute? So, we now have 3 Defkoptas. 1, 2, 3. And when you finish them, it's saying you should have something that looks like what we've actually got. So it's saying that we've got 2 with rockets, which we can kind of tell because, well, look, rockets. And we have 1. It's not a flamethrower. I thought it was a flamethrower. This one, which what I thought was the flamethrower and has a big bomb underneath, has a custom Mega Blaster. That's the one that can go wrong. It's got rockets. It's got rockets. I don't care what they want to put on it. It's got rockets. They're going to try and force me to do stuff. I'm going to tell them no. So we're now going to have painting updates for some of our models. I'm just going to see what painting updates it's got for us. It's going through some very, very, very fine detailing. Highlighting your Chaos Marines and then highlighting your Orcs. Now, they're going a bit weird on this one. Oh, they're going a bit weird. So for the highlighting the Chaos Space Marines, I've actually told you they were waiting to get the Calgar Blue. They're the black and gold models that I've got loads of red all over them. Now, some of it makes sense for like the helmet, the blue helmet that you've used from a normal Space Marine. That should be Calgar Blue because it's supposed to look like an Ultramarine or it's supposed to look like a Loyalist Marine. That bit makes sense to do the highlighting with Calgar Blue and do the edges. But they're also doing all the armor panels and the face panels and around the edges of vents and stuff on the Terminators and the Hellbrute and the Legionnaires. And I don't know why they're doing that for Black Legion. It's supposed to be more grey. I mean, Calgar Blue's quite a grey, but still, I would have opted for something more like a Dawnstone, or maybe a bit dark and Administratum grade. I wouldn't have gone for blue, except for the part where it's appropriate because it's on a blue helmet. But they want you to do the edge highlighting in blue. So along the chest pieces, along the raised areas around the eyes, around the little circular areas on the vent on the back of the Hellbrute, all in Calgar Blue. Then you get the Stormhost Silver and do the same thing at the gold bits and the silver bits. So all the very, very high edges, just run a little bit of Stormhost Silver over it to make it bright at the edge. And as I said, they're going to want you to do pretty much all the metal pieces, everything, whether it be gold, whether it be silver, whether it be anything that they told you to paint metal, you're going to use Stormhost Silver to highlight it up. Even the bloody book, you're going to paint just little touches of silver on. So that's going to be a lot. For leather, we have Night Questor Flesh. And they're going to, so again, pouches, straps, tabards, fur in this case. Pardon me. Any of the wooden stakes that are coming out of the trophy racks. So you can get all them done in as well. Mostly highlighting and very quick choice of colours. So Calgar Blue, Stormhost Silver, and Quest of Night Flesh. Stormhost Silver seems to be doing a lot of the pulling on the Chaos side. And that will get you what looks to be something like this. Now you can only just see the blue tint around the heads and around the edges of the actual armour. If you've got the magazine in front of you, it will be much clearer. It does look okay. I can't deny that. I just would have preferred a more grey tone rather than pushing it towards the blue. That's just me personally. If you like the look of this, go ahead, use the Calgar Blue. Follow their nice little painting guides because they do look nice. They do look very nice, the little Black Legion collection. Now we're going to tell you to do the same with the Orcs. So using Calgar Blue to highlight black seems to be what they're going for at the moment. And Stormhost obviously to highlight anything that's metal. So this is going to be an interesting one. You're going to have a lot of Orcs with blue strapping. And the amount of Stormhost Silver on an Orc is ridiculous. Just pointing out here, you're going to have cogs, you're going to have tiny areas, you're going to have little bits, pins, nuts, bolts, shell casings, rims for around the end of guns, tips of grenades. Not only that, you're going to have belt buckles, shoulder spike pads, lines that you're going to want to put halfway down axes because it's slightly tinted, or slightly tilted, should I say. Again, and if you think about the backs of, for instance, the backs of these Defkoptas, all these little dots and all these little areas here, once you've done them with the lead belcher and then you've Agrax earth shaded them to give them the dirty look, you're coming back in then, you're highlighting around each little dot with Stormhost Silver. There's a lot of work to be done, but it does pay off. It does make your model look better. Again, going back with the Quest of Night Flesh, you've gone over, if you've gone over the leather already in the Rhinox hide, Agrax Earthshade Watch, and then come back in with the Quest of Night Flesh to give it that final high level highlight just in the region, just in the higher bits, just to make it stand out and so you can see the recesses. But it's going to be a lot of fiddly little work. And by the time you've done that, you should have your Warboss in Mega Armor, looking considerably dirtier than that if you've actually bothered, if you've used the Agrax properly on a bit of known light. It'll do a 50-50, you'll get it looking a little bit dirtier and grimier than that, which would be nice. But quite some good looking boys who were there, with some of them with some very strange looking devices. As I said, these will tell you to paint with Auric Flesh, so use the same technique if you have used it from the previous issue. The Auric Flesh Coelia green shade to tone the green skin down, and then back over with Auric Flesh just to bring them back up to get them to look like that shade of green again. Looking at this, mostly they've done them black. As I said, if you're feeling a bit adventurous, you can try the checks out, spirals, and various other Orky type glyphs to go along to make it look a little bit archier. I think mine's going to be mostly red. I'm going to be going mostly red. So I'm going to go for the datasheet for the Defkoptas. Not Def, because they don't have a TH. It's DEFF. And later on tonight, I will go through the more rulesy side, as I've figured out in section 48, right, in issue 48, the first section of it is how to paint your Defkoptas. Now, majority of it's going to be silver, and then it's going to be repeating the same processes that you've done in the past on Mechanica Standard Grey, with some of the clothing, browns with some of the clothing, Questor Night Flesh to highlight the browns, Auroch Flesh, Stormhost Silver to highlight the Lead Belcher, Avalon Sunset to do the yellows, and then Mephisto Red for the reds. And it's going to be the same highlighting and washing techniques that you've used throughout every other one so far. So keep your Agrax Earthshade to hand, keep your Normail to hand, and keep your Reichland Flesh Shade to hand. And don't, whatever you do, lose your Coelia Godshade, because that stuff is going to be wonderful for when you're coming back to do the Auroch Flesh. Zeke Reichland Fresh Shade for all the yellow bits, Coelia Green Shade for all the green bits, and Agrax Earthshade and Normail for all the black and mechanical bits. And then exactly the same paints we've just been through a minute ago. The Stormhost Silvers, the Questor Night Fleshes, the Calgar Blue. All that again, just to do the highlighting stage. They have done a couple of extra ones like the visors on the one with actual goggles up here. The full one has actually got goggles, so they put full goggles on there, taking and going into the detail on the bases as well. So remember to paint tires, any little critters that may be on there, the wood branch that one's resting on, any skulls. Just make sure you get each detail and going through it as the same techniques that it goes through. Base, wash, highlight layer on each one. Just depends which colours you use. So as you're going, if you've painted them all up very nicely, you should end up with some helicopters that look like this. They do look quite nice. Then you can see it here on the back. They've gone for slightly darker metallics. So if you wanted to go for bronzes, brasses, golds, you vary it up a little bit. Whether you're going for, don't just go gunmetal or lead belcher, because it will look a little samey. If you can vary it up a little bit with different metals, that would be nice. So before we jump off, let's cover the data sheet for these, and then I believe it will be missions and special rules later on tonight once I'm fully functioning, or at least semi-functioning to another degree. We have a data sheet for the Defkoptas. Now these are still one of my favourite units for Orcs for a long time. For at least 5 editions, these have been one of my favourite units. Now, they have a 12-inch move, toughness 6, so they ain't that easy to take out, let's put it that way. They're going to be in your face as well quite quickly. Standard 4+ save and a 6+ invulnerable save because they've got smog around them. 4 wounds each, so they do take a fair bit of chipping away and focus firepower, especially if you've got it in a unit of 6. Leadership 7 is good for Orcs. OC 2, which is pretty nice, especially in a unit of 6. Now, believe it or not, where these come in is the ranged abilities, not the melee abilities, which is strange because Orcs hit things hard. Defkoptas shoot, and believe it or not, they're quite reliable shooters, even for Orcs for some strange reason. Now, it gives one as a custom Mega Blaster, which is a range of 24, 3 attacks, hitting on 5, standard Orc stuff. Strength 9, -2 AP and D6 damage, but it does have the hazardous rule. Orcs have a habit of, they are the fun army, but they'll make it fun for them, not necessarily for you. So the hazardous will probably come up more times than you'll hit on that custom Mega Blaster. Don't ask me how this works. It's arc logic. Arc logic. That's how it works. However, the custom copter rockets, which are blast and twin linked, so you get to reroll wound rolls of 1 with them, and you get to have better chance of having more shots against bigger units. So that's good. So D3 attacks, 24-inch range. Again, hitting on 5s, but for some reason it works with the rockets, or it does for me anyway. Same strength 9, -2 AP, flat 3 damage. So they can take out a Terminator in one shot. You're wasting a damage on a standard Space Marine. It's not going up from 3. But if you can average it out, alright, 6 copters, a few hits in there, you can stack damage up pretty highly. And that strength 9 is nice. Not saying they don't have a melee option. They do have spinning blades, 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 5, no AP for these, and 1 damage. So it is infantry clearing. So guardsmen, Tau, stuff with not high saves, 1 wound, just ding 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 ding. Go through them so they can focus on shooting on the harder, higher stuff. So what am I going to cover later on tonight? We have enhancements for Chaos Champion. We also have secondary objectives and stratagems, I believe, all for Chaos. We have some more lore on the orcs, which is nice. We do have some more Bonds of Honor, part 12, if you are reading that story. That is going to be in here for you. And we have a Vroom Daka Daka scenario with which to go over. Now, it seems pretty straightforward and pretty simple of a scenario, but there's also the cunning but brutal section to go through as well. So I will cover those 2 parts tonight, which are going to, stratagems, secondary objectives and enhancements for the Chaos Space Marines Combat Patrol, and then a little mission to run through with the Defkoptas. I'm only going to do it as a separate one because I'm in pain and I've been using my arms a lot and my arms don't like it. I need to rest them. So I will end this one for now here with 3 Defkoptas built, ready to go into the pile of orcs with obviously Lasgo Thwacker and all my others that I have not yet got into painting or doing up, and I've started stacking other models up on my desk. Aren't I clever? Yes, I will be going live later tonight, Ali. It's just because I haven't recovered quite as quickly as I would have hoped when it comes to sleeping and letting my body rest. So I'm going to let that a bit more today, give it a bit more to get it into a working condition, and I'll go live again tonight to cover the more rulesy side of what's going to happen. It also keeps this a little bit shorter as well, just for those people who do come solely for the models. Next week we get issue 1 of, well, we get issue 49, but it's part 1 of 2, and next week we'll start getting the Death Dread, which is a Dreadnought. It's not as big. Lazarus is gonna laugh at it. Even the Redemptor Dreadnought is he's gonna laugh at it. But the only thing that's not is the Hellbrute. He's probably gonna try and put his arm around it to give it a hug, going, "It's all right, mate. It's all right." While Lazarus is 4 times the fucking size of them. But that's something completely, that's something else anyway. So I look forward to seeing you all later on this evening. Again, around the usual time of 9:30 if you're in the UK. We'll go through those. If you can make the equivalent changes in time zones for yourself. I believe it's like between 4 and 8 hours if you're in the US earlier than that. So what about 5 o'clock to 1:30 in the afternoon if you're in the US? And obviously it gets later and later if we're going further east as well. So 10:30, 11:30, 12:30 if we're going further through Europe. And well, if we get as far as Australia, then good morning. But I'll see you all then. Thank you very much. Please drive safe and have a good day.